right, don't lean that way. You're blocking the sign in the background. There you go, right there. Don't go back over there. Put your arm down. The other arm. Put the other arm up. There you go.
Jesus.
I'm trying to have the sign in the background. It's blown out, but it's back there.
You got it?
No, I'm good.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I've been recording.
Oh.
I mean, wow, this is bad. This is a whole new level of evil right here.
You're gonna need the elbow pad.
Wolftick Nation, thank you for tuning into another, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, put your hands down.
Thank you for tuning into another Wolftick Videos episode. On today's episode, we are atop beautiful Mount Nebo State Park in Dardanelle, Arkansas. About to hit my favorite trail in Arkansas, that's right. It's the Hayes Creek Run Black Diamond, 2.3 miles. This trail just gets longer and longer.
Good Lord, pretty soon it's going to be like a 50-mile trail according to you.
This trail is a damn beast, guys. It's a beast of a trail, and what better trail to try out a $75 Amazon budget fork on than Hayes Creek. So guys, we are going to get the sauce.
That is the absolute opposite of what you should do.
So what we've done is you guys have got to see the episode on the Meroca Lyrik, all right, the faux Lyrik. The Lyrik fork, 120 millimeters of travel. We got to take that thing, did a real-time review on it during the Cat's Meow at Northwoods Trails. Got that done. We said, you know what, we got to go ahead and take this thing down to Black Diamond so we can get the official scientific Wolftick Videos rating for this fork. So we're
very
gonna,
scientific.
We will be taking the Lyrik Meroca 120 millimeter travel fork down Hayes Creek Run, doing a real-time review, seeing what hard hits look like, what Savage Rock Gardens look like, what some features look like. This is a nasty trail. We're going to get nasty with this bike. Hopefully we stay safe today. We're going to get all the safety gear on. And then we get to the bottom. Me and Wolfman are going to sit down. He's going to get my scores on this fork, how I feel about it. And we're going to rate this thing and see where it rates on the below $200 forks, $200 and below. All right, guys, so if that's something that you're interested in, which I know it is, that's why you're here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on. Let's get suited up and let's ride the Schwinn Ascension down Hayes Creek and see if this fork holds up. It's 75 bucks. All right, guys, so this fork does have a air chart graph on it. Rider's 140 pounds. It recommends anywhere from 65 to 74, something like that, which I think they're pretty on. I'm probably about 145, 146 pounds. When we rode this on the Cat's Meow, I think we're at 70. Was it 70?
Yeah, and it needed a little bit more.
A little bit more, and unfortunately, I don't bring an air pump out there, and it's a real-time review, so I kind of get a good feel for it, check the sag in the parking lot, and then we go out and ride it, right? I wish I would have had an air pump on me so I can add a couple of PSI, but that's what the second trial run is all about in the rating, right? So we're going to put 72 PSI in this thing.
Do you don't think we should go 74?
Let's go 74 because
I think 74.
Looking back at that footage, and it's hard to base while you're riding and going, is this the exact air that I need? So it's still directly at 70.
Well, that's good. It's holding 70.
Yeah, it's holding 70.
Because it's been through hot and cold since then, too.
All right, so we're at 74. And I know somebody in the comments says, man, if you mess with your compression knob or you mess with your rebound, it has nothing to do with it bottoming out or not. And I understand that. I know it's an air pressure deal, and I'd mentioned that in the video. The issue was I had to use the rebound to hurry up and get that pushback so I didn't bottom out. I don't know if I really...
Well, they're right and they're wrong at the same time. So you're both right and wrong. The thing is the rebound does have an effect on bottoming out because if it's not able to fully start trying to expand back out because it's set so slow, it's more likely to bottom. So,
so the downside was
there is that.
So the downside with this fork was the pressure situation. The upside to it, though, and we're going to find out today's episode, was the what do you call it, adjustability of it. And hopefully the 4 extra PSI makes a difference because while I had to tighten up that rebound, make it a little bit faster so I got full decompression on the fork, the downside to that was it became more poppier, right? And it came a little bit stiffer with the preload and the landing, and I don't like that. I'm more of a slower rebound kind of guy. So we'll see if the 74 PSI is just right, and we'll probably put it right back. I think this thing had maybe 22 clicks of rebound. I remember
23, I think.
We're going to go back to 8 clicks on the slow side because I had adjusted it from 8 clicks slower to 11, and it made a world of difference, and I was very impressed. But I think that's where the guy was coming out with the comment of, oh, well, that doesn't have anything to do with the, the bottoming out, but it does, but it doesn't. So anyway, we've got 74 right now. I'm not sure if you guys can find this fork anymore for $74. We will put an affiliate link in the description below, and you guys can check that out.
And we did look back on the previous episodes. If the previous episode shows the price, if they don't believe us.
Yeah,
I think it was on the initial impressions that we show the price.
Shows the price, but you know, I'm really looking forward to today's ride with this fork because, again, this will be able to do a, we'll get to get nasty with this thing. Not that the Cat's Meow isn't a nasty trail, but it's not a constantly workout. This trail here, a lot of people go, that's a Black Diamond, you know, in Colorado, that's a green trail. But whenever you come out here and you actually ride it, you know, we do get a lot of GoPro effect like we always talk about. This trail has got so much more to it than what it really comes across on camera. But
well, and regardless of that, I don't get caught up on everybody. You know, everyone, oh well, go to Whistler, whatever.
And I'm not trying to prove anything. All I'm saying is this trail here is a lot nastier.
And it's rated a Black Diamond Downhill, and it's
just a heck of a lot nastier than the.
And that drop's a lot bigger. Big Sister Brandy can attest to the fact that she likes to bring it up like that drop is way bigger than it looks on camera.
So can Joke you.
Yeah, well, he committed.
Yeah. Wow, this is the stock crankset on this bike.
Yeah.
Stock crankset. We got rock row pedals.
Are you going to, well, when you get done with that, are you going to mention the, hopefully Jay's doing better now with we're wearing the
jersey?
Absolutely,
yeah. The Duro switch tires, and hopefully old Jay, as a bike chick calls him, that bike dude, hopefully he's doing good. Man, homeboy went out and rode, got super dehydrated, woke up, dehydrated, probably felt like he was drunk.
Well, I don't think he was just riding. I think he was working in the shop.
Do whatever he was doing. You need to stay hydrated, man. He got up and freaking fell and busted his head. He says, we texted him the other day, he's doing good. So make sure you guys wish him well in the comments. Yeah, you just got to, with this weather, man, summertime, stay hydrated. You guys are working on your bikes. You know, they've got the Simpsons bike shop in Texas. You got to stay hydrated, you know. There's a deer over there, but all right, guys. Hope you're doing better, Justin. All right, guys, let's get after this real-time review. You've seen the Meroca fork. You've seen the bike. I'm a little nervous with the Wolftick brakes, but we're fixing to get after it. See if we can catch that deer. Here we go with the Meroca Lyrik. This is the ultimate fork right here. It's official, the ultimate fork.
Ultimate for what?
Hopefully it ultimately holds up and they'll see you at the bottom.
Ultimately, I hope you make it down there without crashing.
All right, love you.
All right, love you.
All right, guys.
Have fun. Make sure you're warm before you go down the mountain.
He says make sure I'm warm before I go down there. I just got on this bike. I haven't ridden anything today. Been out fishing all weekend. I've been fishing all weekend at Sunday, and it says make sure you're warm. Like, okay, like what? Like ride to Poe Lawless's Kiss and make that warm. But this is going to be fun. We've got the Meroca Lyrik up here. Again, Mount Nebo State Park, beautiful park. And we're going to hit Hayes Creek Run. All right. 74 PSI, 6 clicks of rebound. I can hear the oil circulating in there. And again, this thing with the smalls is impressive. Just the way it flows over the small stuff, man. It's a cheap fork. It doesn't feel tinny at the moment. You know, we talk about these lighter forks and just having that cheap feel. First hit there, not bad at all. Second hit, really buttery and smooth. I think that camera's messed up down there. I'm gonna have to fix that before we get going along too much. Yeah, it's an interesting thing with this fork is it doesn't feel cheap yet. You know, we'll see down here after a couple of these switchbacks. This trail gets pretty rough, and it's in pretty rough shape right now. You know, of course, with all the usage, it being riding season is one thing, but we've been getting a lot of rain, and that rain just washes away a lot of the dirt and just exposes like this, a lot of rocks and rough patches. And that Savage Rock Garden's going to be rough too. But we're going to hit it. We're going to see how we do. Okay, let's see how this first little switchback feels. Okay, not bad there whatsoever. It's got a nice feel going into the turns and right back out. See, the fast speed rebound on this is impressive. That six clicks of rebound, I think, is going to be perfect for this trail. I think it's going to be right at the right amount. I maybe should have went some more pressure with it. We're going to take a look at that compressor ring here in a little bit. But I'm getting enough feel from that fork. Remember, the interesting thing is this is a straight steer fork. You guys remember that. It's a straight steer, and we do have the adapter on there. It's just basically a ring that sits inside of the crown race. That makes you can adapt it to a tapered head tube. Yeah, straight steer, and it still feels solid up front. Usually those things are a little sketch, but this one doesn't feel bad. Okay, before we get to Savage Rock Garden, look at this compression ring and see where we're at. Okay, so it looks like we've bottomed out. Yeah, we've bottomed out this fork already, which is surprising. I guess on those first 2 hits, you know, it did mess with that camera. Let's lower this guy again. We're going to keep this for right now at 6. Let's go 7. We're going to go at 7, and we're going to see how she acts down here. Man, these pedals are legit. Yeah. Okay, so I definitely softened it up a little, or tightened it up a little bit more in the front end. Oh, that's nice and buttery. And the big difference with this bike, and I think all bikes for the most part, is it just completely changes the overall feel of the front end. It's way snappier, way more maneuverable, because it's so much lighter than the original fork. And heck, I think this fork's a lot lighter than the Manitou that was on here. All right, Savage Rock Garden. Oh, geez. Oh, she's rough today. Holy crap. This whole trail. Oh my gosh. We can get some washout. My tree's gone. Thank you, Trail Jesus. Oh, this whole trail is rough, buddy. But she's acting good. She's responding well. I am so shocked that this fork is doing as good as it is for the price of it, guys. Oh my gosh. Let's look at this compression ring again and see how much we've used. Not any really big hits, but we did hit that Savage Rock Garden. Okay, and this is how it should look, in my opinion, is we're right off of the full, basically using up all of that travel. It was a little bit over 120. I think it was 124 or 127, somewhere around there. And we're not bottoming out, which is a good thing. There's no lines on the stanchions, and that's always one of those tall tale signs of either not enough oil or there's just too much friction up here. And these are black stanchions. You can still see, I don't know if you guys can see it, a little sag chart here, which is kind of a cool touch on this fork. That's going to go to the looks. But anyway, there's no paint fade or anything like that on either of the stanchions. They're still nice and smooth. We didn't even grease these stanchions up. You know, we're riding it like it is from the box, basically. But that still looks good. This bike is loud. You need to get a chainstay protector on this thing. But the Meroca Lyrik is doing good. I think 74 PSI is good. We've got that drop coming up, and then we've got some fast portions and some more hits. But let's keep after it. All right, come on. I got to get in the rhythm of this fork. Damn, this trail's rough today. Jeez, but this fork's holding up. Oh. Most of the time I can get away with 3 or 4 mounts. Heck, today I've got to worry about the one in my helmet, and it is a problem already. All right, we got a big drop here. Let's see how we do. Oh, buddy. Oh, she held through on that. Holy crap. Very big drop. Okay, now we're starting to get that pump feel, that build up of where she's not acting the best anymore because it's hit after hit after hit. Oh man, what was that term? Here's my area I always crash. Oh, we bombed out the front right now. Hardcore. I hope I didn't get a flat. Holy crap, we just bottomed the heck out of the front. Dude. Did you guys hear that? Totally. Oh, wow. Bottomed this fork out. Insane. Still no lag, or still no discoloration on the stanchions. I am shocked I didn't get a flat right now. These are some really awesome tires. The Duro Switch 29ers. Wow, such a good tire. And that fork is starting to do that buildup, just like that last one did. Forget the term on it again, but it's basically, it becomes packed. It goes to being fully, where it can extend fully and compress fully, decompress. It goes back and forth, and then it hits this where it has a pocket of air caught in it, and it just stops reacting for a little bit. And I'm sure you guys can see that on camera. Kind of going at a slow rate of speed like this, it's fine. But you start going hit after hit, it's like air gets built up in there, and it just gets packed. I don't know if that's on top or on bottom, the lowers, the uppers. I don't really know how the whole air circulation deal works, but that's the best way I can explain it. It just, I don't know, it feels like there's a big air pocket in there. Here we go, hit. Okay. Okay, I got a flat. I got a flat in the front. All right, we gotta switch this thing out real quick. Damn it. All right, we got a tube on us. Damn flat in the front. I would just try to fix it with the my patch kit, but that patch kit's not very good. No, I don't think I've ever found a patch kit that works well. Dang, that was some hard hits, man. You can tell this trail is just so rough right now. All that rain exposing all those little rocks. I had a feeling we're gonna get a flat. I'm glad I brought a tube. Always learn to install this on there first because I always mess this part up. I'll let this whole damn cylinder go before I put any air in it. Or CO2 in it. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get back to ride. So now after the fork sitting upside down and taking a big break, you guys can see I haven't messed with the air nor any of the adjustments as far as the rebound's concerned, and it's buttery. It is like super smooth. It's so plush up there right now. It feels, I can't take that drop. I don't want to go flat. It almost feels like I've taken 10, maybe 5 PSI out of it. It's so soft now. And that's what's a trip about this fork. It's kind of acting sporadic, you know. Here's a little drop here. Crashed here plenty of times. Ooh, nice drop. See, it's really good right now. Very buttery, very responsive. Again, it feels really good in the mediums, in the smalls. Heck, even in the bigs when there's not a lot of them. But it just does that little weird packing up motion. That's a little strange. Let's hit this here. So I can land nice and soft on it. So we're putting it through a little bit of a workout right now. I go to hit this feature. Oh yes, and it's butter. Absolute butter. And then, going to this turn here. Still feels like butter. She's still doing good up there. Okay. I'm putting some more weight on the front end. And, well, let me see when I come out of this. It packs up right there. It gets a little stiffer. It's just weird. You know? I don't know. It's not a terrible fork. I'm so curious on how this thing's gonna rate. So I don't know how to give it a negative for that. Like there, it's kind of still a little, has that feel to it, where it's not as smooth as it could be. Very interesting. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Where do you think this thing is gonna rate? Oof.
Someone missed some gears. All right, go to the truck. I'll give you your mic.
All right, just got done riding the Meroca Lyrik down Hayes Creek, the Black Diamond Trail.
Meroca, please.
Got a damn flat out there. I knew that was going to happen. This trail is super rough. We've been getting a whole bunch of rain. But I have to say, I enjoyed it. Having the proper tools, I was able to enjoy it. This fork is a very interesting fork. It's 75 bucks.
Well, it was. I don't know what it is now. Last I saw, it was only 76 or 78, so I hadn't gone up that much, but I don't know what it's
$75 fork. This fork wasn't bad. You know, the smalls, that's one of the, I think the things I'm most impressed with is the small area on this. High speed or low speed smalls, once it has a chance to gather itself, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, on the ratings in here in a second, but it just does such a good job. Damn, I was pretty impressed.
Okay, well now that we know you're pretty impressed for a $75 fork on a Black Diamond Downhill.
Pretty impressed.
Let's go over the individual scores and you can elaborate more on each individual thing.
Okay. We got some nature out here today.
Woodpecker or something. Okay, the Meroca Lyrik 29-inch 120mm straight steer fork. Okay. In the looks department, out of a 5, you gave it a 4.6.
It's a damn good looking fork.
You like it more than I do. I think it looks fine. That's subjective. It's all subjective, but that's even more subjective. But anyway, okay. So you gave it a 3.8 in feel, which I always have a little bit of input on the feel of it.
It doesn't feel the greatest.
It feels better than a $75 fork.
Yeah, it does.
But it doesn't feel like a $150 fork.
No. It feels like a $115 fork.
Nothing. It's not falling apart out of the box, which had me worried with some of those reviews.
And it didn't fall apart out. We got down the mountain.
Yeah, you got it down the mountain. It didn't fall apart. So there you go. So 3.8 out of 5. Okay. Now, in the smalls department, okay, which you just got done talking about and how much that made this cut, but in the smalls department, you give it a 4.7 out of 5, which is pretty dang high.
Guys, it's so impressive in the smalls. At a high rate of speed and a slow rate of speed, it is just, it soaks stuff up. I can't say it any other way. And you guys seen it on camera. I had to mount cameras different ways because we got to figure some stuff out. But I was just very impressed with these smalls on this. As you guys can tell, that air was perfect. Even at a little bit, 4 psi, a little bit higher, it was still just as buttery. I really enjoyed it.
Well, good. Was the 74 the right amount?
Yeah, 74 is about perfect.
Good.
Maybe 75 if I was a little bit bigger of a rider.
See, I always think you should go a little heavier than what you want to run it at, because on these especially, and like we've told the audience before, you can't, everyone goes, oh, well, you set your sag at 30%. You can't on these kinds of forks. You can set it at about 15, 20.
Like we talked about, most of the time they're all over the place. They're not. Yeah,
they're not as progressive as the more high dollar forks. So it's really hard to set it at 30%. Okay, and then expect it to perform. Now, adjustability, speaking of the air pressures, and you added a little bit more pressure, and you say it's probably about the right amount, if not needing 1 or 2 pounds more. You give it a 3.8 out of 5, and that's it's not a bad score, not a great score. I think what it is, though, is I think its adjustability is really good for what it is, but where it gets dinged is it's kind of that, it's one of those things where it says it has compression or has whatever,
damping.
And it doesn't.
Yeah, it says the compression knob has damping, but it's a lockout. It's a lockout,
and it's open or close. Exactly, and that has to get penalized for that, because you can't advertise something as being that it has something it doesn't have and expect it to not get penalized.
Yeah, but the adjustability was really good, not only with that 4 psi, but remember we had 11, we put it back to 8 on the slower side of the rebound.
Did you adjust the rebound at all?
Yeah, and then I went to 6, and I thought, well, I'm going to keep it 6. No, I'm going to go back to 8. But I put it at 7. It was perfect. Okay. And then there were times where this thing shined, and some times where what we're about to get to.
So it's Goldilocks a little bit, where, is that Goldilocks, right? Where this one's too soft, this one's too hard, this one's just right?
Yeah, but then you kind of get a little too soft too. Okay, it's weird.
Now, everyone always gets the bigs, or what everyone waits for. Now, the bigs, we have more recently explained it more, where the bigs aren't just the big stuff like the big drop on the trail or a big tabletop, but it did that good mixed with some mediums that are good hits.
Yeah, it did good on the big drop today.
Okay, good. It did good on the big. So the biggest of bigs for this trail, it did good on.
Yeah.
But you gave it a 6 out of 10. So on the more medium stuff, it must not be doing all that great.
No, guys, the medium stuff, and you saw it out there, the build-up, it gets that packing effect, where it's like, wow, this thing is really coming to. You start hitting those rock guards, are just really chunky rocks, and then we have the drops and a little bit of features on there. The more this fork starts to get compressed, the less and less it wants to start compressing. It almost becomes just this tight ball of, I don't know, it feels like there's negative air and there's positive air and then there's the air chamber, and it just doesn't really know where to go. And then I got a flat, flipped it upside down, changed the flat out, put it back, and it was like, oh man, where's this been? It got right back to, oh.
So after it rests a little bit, it was good.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. It does the packing, and we have to take that into account for the bigs and the medium area, because it would be unfair. I thought it would be unfair to take that away against the smalls, because it doesn't really do it. It didn't do it all the way up to riding up the sidecar of the cat's meow.
Yeah.
It didn't even do it on the cat's meow, but because I think there's enough big gaps in between.
Yeah, it's like a hit, space. This one is like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, especially today. Days like today, it was bam, 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 a lot.
Okay.
So that's why I give it that.
Okay, 6. Okay, so that's fair. The weight of this fork, it weighed 3.90 pounds.
Super light fork, and it didn't feel chintzy out there.
It's pretty light.
It didn't feel like cheap out there, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it feels okay. We've established. So that gave it a 6.10 on the score.
Okay.
There was no penalty on the travel because it has more than advertised. So before I tell you the score, now you can look at that.
All right, guys, I'm looking at the budget $200 and below fork rating that you guys are looking at. The last fork that we did was the Kataser 26. If you guys can see, that's in the right column. It was the 4th one down. It got a 27.51. That fork.
Do you think this one's better than the Kataser?
No.
Really? Like the Kataser better?
It's hard to remember the Kataser.
No.
We've done a lot of forks.
I know a YouTube channel where you can watch about them.
Yeah. I think I think there were certain aspects about this one that were better than Kataser,
Okay.
but I think the Kataser was better in other categories. So it's kind of one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
so
it's
they're probably even based on if you add price and the give and take of both.
Because the Kataser did the same thing, you know, the packing of it. I'm gonna go. I wouldn't be surprised if it's right on top of the ZTZ and right below the Kataser.
Okay. So you say right below the Kataser, right above the ZTZ.
I think it's going to score 26 something.
So then will it surprise you if I tell you that the Meroca Lyrik 29-inch 120mm straight sear tube fork for $75 scored a 29 flat.
Wow.
29 flat. 29.00.
Okay, see, that's not bad. I'm happy with that.
Where's that put it?
Okay, so a 29 flat puts it right above the original Lu2 and right below the Lu2 AM34. You know,
that sounds about
and what
right.
I do want to say about this, guys, don't go anywhere. Hang on. What I do want to say about this is that with a 29 flat, I think that's good because it had the Kataser, then it had that Homelo, the DH680, which was a show. But I think with a 29 flat, I do want to say that this fork, I think, is perfect for green and light blue stuff, and I would not be opposed to getting this fork, buying it, especially for that price, and putting it on a teenager's bike and being like, hey man, just learn your bike, let's get this air pressure stuff down. You learn how to control your bike. It doesn't have a coil on anymore. We're going to upgrade you with an air fork.
To lighten up your bike, $75.
Yeah, look, we'll look at getting you a better fork down the road, but for this season, let's just give you this one. Let's see what you can do with it and learn it. And I think that would be a great experiment with somebody because this fork's not a bad fork.
If you're a heavier rider and you want to go on anything but green trails, even if you don't really leave the ground too much, I would always look at a more established brand of fork, like a Judy and Up.
Yeah.
Because I know those are proven and they're going to be tough and durable. They're more expensive, but you can catch them on sale sometimes for like about 150-ish, 140 after tax and shipping, in that range. And if that's the case, if you're say 200 and above, you definitely need to look at that kind of area, or even maybe 180. But if you're less than 180 pounds and you don't really jump crazy and you ride greens in town and maybe it's a blue that's not crazy, yeah, something like this is probably good.
Guys, that was another Wolftick Videos episode. We appreciate you guys watching as always. All right, really do. If you guys want to check back on some of these other fork ratings, make sure you guys do the initial impressions. We have the real-time review. They're all in the playlist. Wolfman puts a lot of time into that.
Yeah, I got a playlist that's 200 and below.
So make sure you guys go out and check that out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, see what we got coming up, and go back and watch that scooter video.
Yeah, that scooter video needs help.
It needs some love, guys. But we will see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching another fork episode. Interesting.
You done?
Yep.
Yeah.